Welcome back to Valley Life and Wells Fargo Friday, and I've got a whole lot more questions for our guests right now. We're talking to Deb and Scott, and Scott, I want to kind of touch on what we just left off on. You had just briefly thrown in, we were trying to get people out of their own way, and sometimes some of the egos clash when we're trying to build great things for our community, and that's kind of what the Fresno Business Council's kind of done, is let people know, hey, let's work on each other's strengths instead of just letting someone's ego get in the way.
Absolutely. You know, and it takes us away because we all are really busy with what we do in our everyday lives. And what it's nice is you sit there with leaders of other really big organizations and say that let's just break down all of that, and let's just, as Deb so much talks about, just as a citizen, just as somebody who cares about this community on the long term, how do we really bring what we can do and our unique view of the world to really make a difference?
Perfect. Now, Deb, you've got 17 years of running this show. Give me some great examples of things that you just thought, you know, I am so proud of that project and how it got pulled together.
Well, in overall, I am so proud to be working with citizens willing to do this. My background is with Common Cause in Minnesota. I'd never seen leaders step up and lead a community like Fresno's doing. So that is kind of a general thing. There's specific things that we've done. We helped start CART. We're involved in starting both of the incubators. Our members have been involved in major initiatives. A concrete example to illustrate how this idea of linking, aligning, and leveraging works, I recently was exposed to City Without Orphans, which is a bold strategy to eliminate orphans in our community by making sure they have loving homes. Someone came together to create a hub, and the idea of a hub is you're not a program competing with other programs. You link, align, and leverage what's already there, partner with government, and then you make sure every child is placed. And it was very successful in Colorado. They went from 800 to 100 in 5 years. Yeah. Imagine the change in Fresno with 2,100 in foster care. We're in loving homes.
Right. That would make a tremendous difference. But even more importantly, with great programs like that you get excited about, how do people then find you with the need, and then also how do the minds that can actually make the change, how do they get involved, and how do you find them? So kind of lead me through the example of where the people come to you and then how you get them the help.
That's a great question. I today have this Rolodex in my mind and on paper. So if someone comes to me, I know who cares about something. I know how to connect the dots. So part of what the Business Council does is link, align, and leverage talents, ideas, resources to achieve bold outcomes. Not the smaller one, because we're not a tactical group, we're a strategic group.
It's got one thing I want to throw to you is what I've been so impressed with all these wonderful Wells Fargo Fridays is that the people that are leading the charge seem to be the people at the top, the ones that probably have the least amount of time on their hands spare to go jump into this. So what made you say, you know what, that is the board that I want to get involved in and really put my effort and focus into to that entity?
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, it's really the people. You know, it's something that where you feel like, I had a good friend who was part of 64 boards at one time, and I thought, how do you do something like that, you know, with everything? And it's like, okay, what are the things where you can really get to the point where you can help use the position that you're in to really make a difference. You know, as that you learn of these opportunities, as Deb was just talking about, we have people on our teams that are volunteering all across this community, and you hear about needs, and it becomes this is its own little ecosystem of communication that really helps us say, you know, I know somebody that can help with that. And as Deb pointed out, we have the leadership of the financial institutions, of educational institutions, of hospitals, of the CBOs. We have all the leaders that are there, and the network that creates to really say, okay, how do we kind of cut through this and really solve something is pretty compelling.
And working for a great company like Wells Fargo, too, by leading by example at the top, too, you're also inspiring a lot of people that are working up through the ranks to get involved as well and say, you know what, I can make a difference right here in the community that I'm involved in, not just this, you know, huge corporation, but right here where I live.
Absolutely. We have to make it more than just talk. We have to say that because it's easy to talk about. Sure. A lot of companies talk about it, and it's just say the thing that I'm more proud of. I think we gave away $3.5 million in the central.
You know, just $3.5 million.
But over almost 20,000 volunteer hours. That's the compelling thing. That's people saying, okay, I'm willing to give away time, sure, and really this is what I do.
Right. And being a one-woman show to at least lead the charge right here, Deb, it's all kind of relying on the volunteers and the people that say, you know what, I can help. I've got some time and I've got some expertise. I can jump in and do this. And then you've just got to coordinate that so that it's as effective as it can be for the entity.
Right. It's just been an amazing journey. I mean, we are part of a network across the state, the California Stewardship Network, and all of them are different. We're the only one that operates like this. I think of us as sort of an Apollo 13 mission where we use what we have and we're going to make it.
Sure. Well, before we run out of time, are there numbers or websites or anything where people can get in touch with you, whether they're on either end of the spectrum?
Absolutely. We have a website, www.fresnobc.org.
Beautiful. Scott, sure appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Great to meet you. Thank you.
And Deb, thank you very much for leading the charge, because we definitely need that person right at the front of the cavalry saying, you know what, we're going to make this a better place, and you are certainly doing that. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Wells Fargo Friday, always a blast. Great people actually making a difference right here in the community. You can be one of those. Jump on that Wells Fargo volunteer spirit. Throw in some time, throw in some effort, whatever resources you've got. We need them somewhere here in the community, and you can make that change happen. Don't go anywhere. A little more Valley Life coming up right after this.